Now, there are signs that Japan's economy is picking up, but there are also some risks ahead. The central bank has raised its GDP forecast for this year from 1% to 1.4%, mainly thanks to a weaker yen, which of course is good for Japanese exporters. However, the central bank's governor warns that Donald Trump's protectionist policies may have a negative impact.
We do fear that Donald Trump's conservative policies may shrink global trade and slow down the growth of the global economy.
Well, Seijiro Takeshita is a professor at the University of Shikuoza, and he has similar concerns. Here's what he makes of the central bank's decision and the protectionism policies of President Trump.
Well, the fact of the matter is that if we have an elevation of sentiment and, of course, a deduction of tax, which would induce more economic activities, that would obviously put a positive knock-on effect, domino effect to the Japanese economy as a whole. But unfortunately, what most of the Japanese are worried about is totally the other way around, where you will find protectionism that would be coupled with possibly currency moves, which is going the wrong way for the Japanese exporters, a little bit similar to the 90s. Now, this is what the Japanese are very worried about. They're talking about regression of protectionism that basically would hinder the world trade, which is obviously one of the biggest factor for creating synergism around the world. You look at the historical fact, the reason why the world had been growing is because very much to do with innovation and internationalization. And if we're going to truncate, one of them, and particularly the innovation is also very much dependent on interdependence of these international alliances. So, it would really cause a long-term negative damage to world trade. And I think that's what they're quite worried about. And the fact that we're not having TPP U.S. participation means that TPP's importance would be minimalized. And the person who's laughing aloud the most is actually China. I just hope that, the President Trump and his delegates would understand that. It is very much of a hindrance to the progress of the free world trade, which I think will be very negative for U.S. in the long term. And as you noted, people who are laughing at this the most, I think, are the Chinese and possibly the Russians as well. So for the free world, this, I think, is a definitely step or few steps backward, actually. And I would hope that there will be an alterations that would come through over the next few years.